Hi, I'm Shantae Jennings. Welcome to Launch Lab. In the past few weeks' videos, we discussed how to wow your new clients with onboarding, client appreciation. We covered why it's impactful to your revenue to do client appreciation, why we covered how you go about doing it at each tier, low ticket and mid tier and even premium. So today I'm going to talk more about the mid ticket area and what the process should look like, give you some ideas as well as, hello, Kay, as well as answer some commonly asked questions about client appreciation because it's a well-known opportunity to appreciate your clients, but usually people leave money on the table by just addressing after the project is over, after the program ends, holidays like Christmas or birthdays, when we can set them up for success by just having a client onboarding system that includes the client appreciation. So when we talked about low ticket tier in the other video, I mentioned that everything you do should be automated because remember it's low ticket and you don't want to spend a large amount of money because in the end the price isn't the important part. It's whether you're being intentional. Hi Ty. Yeah, this is really important. People don't know when I first started and I learned about client appreciation. I was doing like everybody else, gifting at the end. But a few times I did it at the front end and the results just wowed me. I was just like, oh, so I've been doing it wrong. Okay, let me just figure out this process. And even with low ticket, see, people have low expectations when they're buying, like a workbook or some digital product that costs them $47, but you can still give them appreciation and it doesn't have to be costly and it can be absolutely some digital product that you currently charge other people for. And we talked about that in the low ticket, so you can go check that out in the other video. But today we're going to talk about mid ticket, which for me is between 2,000 and 8,000, because that seems to be the common area that people approach gifting, or they think that the gifting lives the most. And I'm going to tell you a few things to help you figure out those ideas that you might have, and maybe you haven't started gifting yet because you're unsure. We're going to walk through that. And if you have any questions, you can definitely put them in the chat. But the first process is whatever your offer is, what is your goal for that offer? For my mid ticket, it's pretty much a group program. We have some workshops. We have this 2-week workshop series. We have a couple of other digital things that fall in that range. The goal is to have them feel like they belong to something and to keep the momentum. Because remember, with group programs, you have to keep the same speed for everything. You want people to come into the program getting in on time and staying caught up. Because with group programs, for some reason, people are afraid to ask questions when they feel like they're behind. They don't want to, I don't know if it's they don't want to slow other people down or they just don't want to seem like a dummy. But you want to set them up for success. And you can do that with your client onboarding as well as your client appreciation, because they come in with feeling like they're making momentum and they belong to something. So the appreciation pieces are things like a personalized welcome. That is one of the simplest things that people can implement, even at the low ticket tier. You're just coming on with a short little Loom video, a clip from your ClickUp or whatever. Hi, welcome to the Client Accelerator. We're so excited to have you. You're going to love it here. Get ready because these are the next steps. And already they're excited. They're getting, pumped up for doing whatever it is. That welcome video, along with a clear onboarding checklist of what they have to do next, they get the expectations set, the tone is set at the beginning. And these are things that are just typical onboarding, should be typical onboarding. But the client appreciation piece can come in as you receive the payment. They're going to get that video. They're going to get that email welcoming them. If they have to have a portal, they'll know about that. They'll get instructions. If they have some hub they have to go to, they have to look at the event calendar, whatever it is. But the secret sauce is to have a client intake form. Even if it's a group program. I had a question from somebody. Well, I just thought that was for the one-on-one stuff. No. Do you want to show a client appreciation to everything, to everyone, whether it's a group program? That's how you stand out, by showing appreciation, because they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, we're in this program. But when you send something individually because they answered these questions a certain way, they're going to be surprised, and it doesn't have to be expensive. When my husband was a realtor, he received these like expensive Harry and David or fruit baskets or whatever. They were not impressive. I'm a picky eater, so they definitely weren't that impressive. But when someone sends you a small, thoughtful gift, that has so much more impact. So that's our goal, to send thoughtful gifts. How do we get the intel for thoughtful gifts? The client intake questionnaire that we talked about earlier. So you're going to ask these specific questions so that your clients understand, hey, this person really is concerned about me. This is her business process. It looks really professional. But at the same time, you're bringing in those other questions when you're really busy and excited to get to work. What's your favorite go-to drink? Or what are the things, the treats that you reward yourself with when you have a success or whatever? Whatever questions are relevant to your type of program, as well as thinking about who you are as a person. If you know you're like a cozy, casual person, you're going to have questions along that line to find out more about your clients. But the whole point of all of this is to streamline as much as possible. Remember, I said that payment should trigger the welcome email. That welcome email that's going to have that little video in it saying welcome, welcome, welcome. And then, by the way, you need to do A, B, and C. And one of those A, B, and C is going to be that form where they fill out that questionnaire for you. And it's up to you to figure out the timeline between them getting the questionnaire and you being able to send the gift, because you're going to send them, you usually going to have a booking scheduler or some type of invite. If it's a group program, they're going to have some kind of, our first call is this date. So you want to have, and even if you have, these people are all group, most people have some kind of one-on-one strategy session or something to offer to their group, unless it's, a huge group or something. But you want to give those people an opportunity to see that you do care about them individually. And they're going to fill out that questionnaire, and they will receive their gifts based on when you order their gifts, when you receive the questionnaires. People may not join the group at the same time unless you have some type of if you have a cohort that starts like this starts January 15th and the next one is June 15th, then you can set up, a similar where everybody's going to get their things at the same time. But if you have a program that people come in and out of, it's individual. So whenever the individual completes their information, you can send out. That's when things start to become human or manual. The steps before that should all be automated. That button, when you have that sales call with them and they push the button to pay, from then on, the email, the form, all those pieces should be automated. And that first human touch should be you choosing their gift based on their form. Now, you can have some options lined up. Like I use a couple of different companies based on the level of gift. And then I choose the gift myself too, based on the questionnaire. If I know this person loves sweet treats, then I choose the one site, Sugar Wish. Then if I know they like things or textiles, they're that type of person, a cup, notebook, then I choose Fox Blossom. And then I have some little small things for the lower tier that I like to send out too, for birthdays, anniversaries, and stuff. Those are all companies that at that point, I do have to go and choose that gift. But it's a pretty simple process for most of them. They make it helpful so you can be in and out. They make it as easy as possible. 1, 2, 3 for you. You're just choosing the gift, and then they do the rest, the shipping and all the other stuff. So we just talked about how you can personalize it and the workflow. Everything should be connected. Most of us as coaches, and even if you're just starting your business, if you're going to have invoices or some type of, if you need to keep it simple, okay, go ahead, just use Stripe. But if at all possible, use something like Stand Store that's already integrated with some other tools and your email marketing tool, because from there you can have your store connect to your email marketing that will onboard them for you. And that will be anybody that comes in. They get that personalized welcome, that you have an email. Because you can have, if you've got two programs, you make a video for one program, you make a welcome for the other program, and put them on the onboarding email series that it belongs to. Voila, you're done. So giving them some type of early win, quick success thing. It could be a short strategy call, even if it's a group program. It could be some short strategy call. It could be some type of resource that you typically charge people for. Include that as a bonus, and then move on to the actual gift. So the next thing we're going to talk about is some questions, some common questions. And if you have questions about sending gifts, client appreciation in general, I'm going to go through a couple of questions, and then I'm going to tell you the answer to them too. The biggest one I've gotten recently, actually, I had a client, I gave them a gift, and then they called me and said thank you, and then they said, you know what, I wanted to do something like this, but I would feel like I was wondering if they would take it as a bribe. And I said, did you feel bribed when I sent this to you? And she smiled and said, no. I'm like, well, you got your answer. You're not buying their approval. This is just curing their anxiety. We talked about that in the other video, that when people buy and then they start to think about, is this a good decision? We want the client onboarding process to assure them, yes, you made a good decision investing in yourself through me. This process shows you that you made a good decision. And that onboarding gift is just going to be a reinforcement of that. Because it is fun. When you think that, it's really important, especially if you live in integrity, because you're thinking, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to bribe them. I'm just excited about them being here, and I want them, to be happy and know how much I appreciate them. So that's a good question to be considering. But like I said, that's not where it's going. You are showing them they have no reason to be anxious or have any anxiety about this program, because this is for them. They've made a great decision. Another question I get that is, the question, she worded it, but then she showed me what she was going to give her clients. And I was like, no, ma'am, we're not doing that. Do not put your logos on things and then call it a gift. Putting the client's logo on it, okay, it's a gift. If it's your logo, it's a marketing tool. We don't want to do that. And that sounds simple, but to newer business owners, it might seem really obvious. Oh, I'm going to give them a bag. I'm going to give them, a mug, and it's going to be cool. It's going to have, no, don't put your stuff on there. It's supposed to be a gift. So they would appreciate it if you could put theirs, but rather than that, have some, great quote on it, their favorite pet, a picture of their pet on it, whatever. Just remove yourself from that's swag. When you go to retreats, then you can have all that stuff at the retreat, because that's a swag bag and they expect it to be that. Yeah, I did that. And I did that with a client. I think I had when I was still working a job, and I talked to her and she's like, you know what? I love that mug that you got me with my logo. I was so shocked to see that. And I was just like, huh. Oh, I didn't even think she remembered that. But it really is impressive, because they're expecting to pull out something with your stuff on it, because they've probably seen that a lot, but it's going to be their stuff. I did it because I wanted her to feel like her business was solid. Like, it's officially, this is your business. And now you've got a mug to remind you of that. That's where I was going with that thought. But it obviously meant something to her as well, because she remembered it. So that is a very cool idea, especially when you work B2B with people, you're working with other businesses. You could do something like that with, if your clients, if you're a fitness coach, you could definitely do that with, if you find out that the client has children or pets and you find a picture, you can just take a picture of that and put it on there, or use some inspirational quotes or whatever. There's endless ideas, and you can go with whatever you think is best. Just stay away from your own marketing tools. And the next question is more about budget, which I get it. They usually think it should be like a firm. I don't use firm anything because I like to give gifts. So once I see the questionnaire, now keep in mind, no matter how much people spend, it really doesn't need to go over $150 because somebody spent 10,000. You're giving a gift. This, do you want them to have a sophisticated, luxurious gift, because this is a sophisticated, luxurious offer you have, and the gift can reflect it. But to just have expensive, you buying some top of the line, like some iPad for somebody, no, that's not necessary. It's not, because the gift, the importance is in that you listened, that you noted what they care about, and you got something based on that, not the latest doodad or whatever. That's not the point. So, how much to spend on a gift relative to the contract value? When I was doing done for you stuff, I really just did not focus on that. First of all, I knew I was going to get a certain amount, but I still did the questionnaire and really just did a gift based on that. And then I used a company that, when I put the gifts together, it would never total over 160, 170, no matter what I put together. I would have to put numerous items like 3 cups and 3 scarves or 3 whatever. So I like the idea of one of everything that I thought was relevant to them in a box. So I never really spent over 170, and that's for the highest ticket. I think if you can keep your things, because here's the thing, I am not a tax professional, but I know for a fact you can only claim in America $25. So guess what? The rest of that is going to be on your business expense, your marketing expense. So if you're thinking about being able to claim it for that, you're looking at it the wrong way. This is supposed to be a return on investment for you, because your client is going to send you more people because they appreciate you more. They love working with you. That's going to be your return on investment. You don't have to be looking at that. Again, I'm not a tax professional, but yeah. The low ticket, we talked about that already. Pretty much use something that you already have created digital, or something that's digital that's like a gift card. Like if they enjoy Elio's coffee or Dutch Brothers, you give them a Dutch Brothers coffee card for a coffee, $15, $10 or whatever. But low ticket, we're never spending over $25 for something, especially if you have some things that you can give to them that are digital. Because the thing is, it needs to be automated. Remember, I said it needs to be automated. You can automate gift cards. You can't automate if you got to send them or make them a mug with their brand on it. Even though the mug doesn't cost much, you still have to do that. And time is money. So we don't want to do that. Another question was, does a cheap gift look bad to a high ticket client? Okay, it depends on how you define cheap. Because if you're being intentional with that person about what they enjoy and what they like, a gift is going to be thoughtful. It doesn't have to be a $200 gift basket. Can be garish, and the person can be like, I have diabetes. Why are they giving me this $200 gift? It's full of, sugary treats. So they're like, they don't know anything about me. Rather than, oh, this person they're working with a fitness coach, so she didn't give them anything like that, but she got some compression socks because she had been talking about walking more and feeling her circulation. So she got her some $20 compression socks. Actually, they probably cost more than that, but a cheap gift for some people would seem like socks. So cheap is not the point. The intentional and thoughtful gift is your goal. We do want to keep the price point down, but digital cards are not cheap. And stop worrying about it looking tacky. Follow the questionnaire, because if you go with the questionnaire and what they say they want, It's not going to matter to them. That's what they enjoy, whether you think it's tacky or not. If the person enjoys bottle caps, then you find them, buy them a collection of 10 bottle caps. They're going to be excited. It's going to be the bee's knees for them. So another question was, does asking personal questions make me look unprofessional? Absolutely not. It makes you look like a human. That makes you look like a human that cares about the people they work with. And if someone objects to it, then they're probably not a client I would want to work with, and maybe not you, depending on your business. Now, the industries, it does matter what industries, but we're talking women, coaching, done for you service. This is totally appropriate. And you're asking favorite snacks is going to detract from your ability to create YouTube channels for them. I doubt they're going to have, that's not going to be the first thing on their mind. Because you ask, they're going to be like, oh, she wants to know about my snacks. Oh, we're going to have some calls and I can have my snacks and my treats along with it. Giving a gift. We talked about the giving a gift before bribe. Nobody thinks of that. And if you're doing the questionnaire, it's about reassuring them that, yes, you made the right choice. And see how concerned I am with my clients. I want you to feel like you're a VIP because you are. But I also want you to feel like this was the right thing for you to do because it's already starting to flow. I'm professional in the way I handle things, and you see that in my client onboarding. And that's the biggest thing I'd like to communicate to people, that a good, solid client onboarding system, even if you haven't stepped it up to client appreciation, that client onboarding system should reassure those clients that you are the right person for them and their decision to work with you is not a mistake. That's the goal for that. So a logistical question I got was, if I have international clients, how do I handle shipping and customs? You just got to be thoughtful. I sent a vendor, I sent people that had worked with me back when I had a virtual assistant business, the virtual assistants that supported me during this like big rush I had. I sent them all these books that helped me get to that because they kept asking me, how did you get to that point? So I sent them this book that helped me get to that. And I had bought a number of books so that I could do that. Now, most of them were in America, but two of them were not. One of them was in the Netherlands and the other one was in, where was she at? I think she was in Bermuda or somewhere. But I was like, oh, this would cost me is more than the book just to ship the book. Whereas I could just go buy the book again and have it sent to her that way. So you do have to be intentional about what you're sending and how you're sending gifts. But I wouldn't say do not gift. If I had a client international, they're still getting a gift. I'm just going to be intentional about how I figure it out. It might be a little different. I might buy it from a vendor that's in their country so that the shipping is a little less chaotic, but that's a simple process to suss out. So, let's see. Oh, this one question I did get that I thought was relevant, but it's going to be relevant for the next category. Is it better to send one big gift, welcome gift, or smaller gifts through the year? One gift for everything but premium. For my premium offer, it's year round. And for my retreats, that's a little different because we get started before the retreat with, talking about sales and offers and stuff. So I send them something for two reasons. I'll stop and talk about the retreat first. First, a retreat is you're going somewhere else with us and probably to another country, maybe somewhere in the States, but most likely you're going to have to travel. You're not going to want to have stuff in your luggage. So the nicest gift I give them, the bigger gift, is going to be front loaded while they're still in the States on one of before our second call, because the first call is going to be individual. Before the second call, they're going to get their gift. And then the swag bag that I give them will be at the retreat, and it will be small, light, nothing, won't cause any hassle, either something they can eat or something that will contribute to their packing. So being thoughtful about when you're having some type of event where they're going to be traveling and have to pack. I made that mistake once. I gave the box at the retreat, and I was like, oh my God, they gotta haul this stuff around. I was like, I'm so sorry. I did not think that out properly. Didn't happen but one time. But after that, everybody was like so excited that, oh my gosh, I'm glad I got this here, because I would have loved it, but I wouldn't want to have to pack it in my suitcase because it's already packed with gifts and all kinds of other stuff. So yes, you do want to front load if you're going to do multiple gifts. And for a year-long program, I absolutely suggest multiple gifts, but you don't have to. Again, this is your business. It's how you feel about it. Like I said, I'm a gift giver. So my people that work with me for a year, I start them out with a gift and then they get something, but it's not just gifts galore. It's based on performance. We want to keep people thinking, as I achieve things, something is celebrated. And that's kind of what you're training people to when you client onboard. Your client onboarding system should be to keep momentum going and to think in terms of we're here to make some things happen. So with the clients, I focus it on milestones at the beginning, and they get onboarded, and midterm, like there's some milestone attached to that. And then if they go on the retreat with us, right before the retreat, and if they don't go on the retreat with us, near the end of the process. So because there's like a completion, a feeling of completion. So there's multiple gifts for that, but it's not required, especially if you have a year-long program and you want to just give them something at the beginning or something at the end. But if you had to choose, I would say give it at the beginning, because first impression, last impression. I really think it just sets the tone for being excited, having them know that, hey, we're really going to get things done, and that you are a thoughtful business owner. You're the person to work with because they're considerate and thinking about me, and this is so professional. So all these little things add up. And the little thing, it's in the details. So does anyone have any questions about gift giving? Does it one more is, should the gift be related to business or personal? And it depends on the questionnaire, because I've given a mix. Now, treats are personal. A planner or a journal, that can be business. Kay says, how personal do you get with the questions you ask about them? I ask questions about, well, if I were a fitness coach, the questions might be a little bit more personal than me being as a business coach. As a business coach, I ask things like, how do you, what's your go-to snack for energy? What's your drink? Do you like when you have meetings? Are you a coffee or a tea person? Sometimes I take the this or that approach, like I'll name 2 popular treats to see which one they are, but I also have other, so they can say, oh yeah, I'm allergic to nuts, so I don't eat chips and I don't eat nuts. And then they'll tell me what they do like, usually because they can see that you're trying to figure that out. And for business, I usually ask if they have a family, if they have a pet, and do they prefer like journaling or anything? How do they do correspondence? Like some people are still pen and paper like me. I love pen and paper. I do digital because my business is digital, but my own personal desire is pen and paper. So I ask people that, do they like a mix? Do they prefer to do their notes in pen and paper? Do they prefer digital products for their notes? So I can figure out gifts around that, because I love giving notebooks and planners. So the people that say pen and paper, I'm in. I'm going, oh, okay, I know what to give them. Little notebooks. And the people that like digital, there's some other sassy software tools that you can give, or different little items you can give instead. So they're not super personal. They're just about their food or about the habits they have. What do they do to relax? What's their favorite color? I know one for business, I always, lately I've been asking, especially when we're talking about sales, what's their favorite color? What color makes them feel confident? Like a lot of women have like an outfit that makes them feel super confident. So I want to know that color so I can get them some gift that's in that color. Like if they say, hey, royal blue, I've got a royal blue dress that I look fantastic in, and I always do my public speaking in it, then I'm going to find something that coordinates with that. So things like that. That's personal, but not so personal. Now, a fitness coach could probably ask other different types of questions like, are you a runner? What size shoe or sock do you wear? They can get, because they may be getting them some special socks or some kind of inserts for their shoes. I remember when I was training for races, one of my coaches got me something. He got me, it was an accessory for a Garmin that I got. I was like, I didn't even know they had accessories. And I was like, oh, okay. But it was sassy and it was nice. And it was waterproof because my stuff was all like for running. And he gave me the piece that was waterproof because he knew that I had started swimming. So just asking what people's activities are, what they do in their free time. You don't have to be too personal, especially if you don't think your gifts are going to be about that. Ty is asking, what if gift giving wasn't a part of my onboarding process, but I want to go back and do it for some clients? How would you go about that? Oh, I did that when I first started with gifts. I realized about gifts when I received one, and I felt so fantastic. I wanted to get her high ticket thing because of it. And that wasn't the only reason, but I just felt so like close to her because of that. So I did that. I had some done for you clients that were like really like my, ride or die. They whatever they needed. When they got something different, they were like, okay, now I'm going to need you to set up this. Or, hey, I got a team member. Can you train her? Or, hey, I need to do this. We want to change. We want to remap that. So can you redo that setup? I got an opportunity to say, hey, this is just appreciation. But I started with looking at when their birthday was. Because I remember one of them, one of the fitness coaches I worked with, I hadn't given her anything, but I found out her birthday because, women, we don't be telling people birthdays like that. And I'm not going to be asking like that. But I was able to find out her birthday, the, month and the date. And I sent her something for that. And she was just like so excited. I had totally I kind of had it on a system. I ordered it way ahead, like maybe a month ahead because I wasn't sure when it was going to arrive because I hadn't done that before. So yeah, you can do this. Find some situation, look up those quirky little holidays they have, client appreciation, or, call your favorite buddy or some kind of holiday, or just find out their birthday, or if they have an anniversary or something they've told you, and send something. Then I tell you, they will be wowed. And then from there, you can just start it in your process. Because a lot of times, once you experience it, is when you start to, think that, oh, maybe I should be doing this too. Hey, this will fit in my business perfectly. Because for some people, it's not a good fit for them. They don't want to do it. But I would definitely go with, look at something personal. You probably have their birthday. If you don't have their birthday, now it's going to be hard to get the address later after the fact if you didn't get their address. So you'll probably say, hey, I typically like to send something for the holidays or for, I don't know, some holiday, and get their information. Most people will I haven't had anybody, even the people that I came after the fact with getting their information, I just told them, hey, I've got something in mind for you. Can I get your address? And that's all I said. And they, oh, okay, what is it? I'm like, you'll find out. And then I didn't tell them anything. And then I sent it, and they were all surprised and happy and excited. So, and that started my process. From there, I put it in my process, and I'm like, okay, from now on, I'm going to do the questionnaire. Because these people I'm talking about, they didn't have the questionnaire. They just had the random questionnaire that I keep tire kickers and stuff out. I hadn't gone that deep with them, but they had been clients that I had been working with for a while. So I knew things about them. But once you send those clients, ask for the address and the information you need. And I think on another call, I don't know if it was Kay or someone else, but they asked about, if we have a virtual business, is it going to be hard to get people? Absolutely not. People know if you get asking for the address, you're going to send them. They're thinking you're going to send them a card. When they see you actually send them a present, they're going to be excited. And even if you send a card, because I like to send cards as well. Thank you. Offboarding. It was great working with you. Call me anytime you want to go through something. A paper card in the mail always beats a digital email, or I have digital cards that I can send people to, but people love receiving snail mail, especially when it's not bills. So You'll get their address for that. Was that helpful, Ty, or do you need a little bit more detail about how to break it down? If you have any more questions, go right ahead. I feel like I think I've got most of the. Oh, one other question. You guys can come up if you have questions. Just put them in the chat. Oh, that was helpful. Thank you, Ty. One question I had for people that want to do things that are food or drink, and they said, "What if they don't drink alcohol or have allergies I didn't know about?" You need to ask them about the allergy situation. In particular, like I asked about it for retreats. My retreat questionnaire asked about it because for several reasons. I was not doing anything special for anybody in a foreign country, and I wasn't going over there looking for somebody to be doing stuff special because that was too much work. I wasn't going to do it. So I just asked that in the questionnaire. If you have, you know, special needs or special diet, this retreat probably isn't for you because we can't accommodate any of that. And I told them that up front in the questionnaire and at the information sessions. Ty is asking, if I want to surprise them, should I just send them something electronically? Yes, until you get it in your system, because if you have to ask them and you want them to be surprised, then you will have to send them something electronically. But it does. I have gotten a Starbucks card and I was surprised about that. I was quite surprised. I was just like, oh my goodness. Oh, I got a Starbucks card. Oh, it's people receiving gifts. People love receiving gifts. They just do. And they really see you as a person that appreciates them. And they just see you in a whole different light because you are that kind of person if you're giving these gifts. Because there's lots of people that they'll look at this video, or they probably won't, and they'll be like, I'm not giving it. I'm giving them the service they paid for. We're just not those people. And that's why I'm breaking this down for you, because I know there's quite a few of us that love to onboard and create wow with our clients, and we want them to feel good. So we want to give them as much as possible. So yeah, I would just send something electronically and then implement your system. And then if the person's still a client, you can do it on the back end, the gift that you wanted. But I would do something by surprise because they're going to be excited anyway. This is just this is win-win for everybody with this. For you, the return on investment you will receive. I'm telling you, people have sent me people. They got what they paid for, but they still sent me people. They were just so excited. You're like, oh, she's a dream to work with. And they're telling me that when they come, oh, she said I heard about you from her. She just like, you're amazing. And I'm like, oh, okay, I am, but okay, anyway. And it's just because you build up that rapport by starting the relationship that way. And then some people just get along well anyway. So that question about alcohol and having allergies, don't worry about offending people. They will see that you're more thoughtful because you're asking, and then you just didn't send some random box full of nuts and they're allergic to nuts, or they're, like I said before, diabetic and you're sending them all these candy treats or whatever. Ask the questions and don't assume. Like, I have never sent anybody booze. I don't drink much and I don't think about it. So if I were to send somebody booze, I probably just wouldn't. That's just not me. If I was in person with the person, like I would buy drinks at a retreat. Like for dinner, I would celebrate with a toast, but I'm not to buy alcohol and send to people. I don't even have it. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have that on my questionnaire. Unless I say, how do you celebrate? And they say champagne or whatever, then I would have that noted. And if they go to retreat with me, I would order that for them. But I'm not going to order. I just think it's easier to avoid that kind of stuff. Yeah. But all of this gets narrowed down so much easily when we have that thorough client intake survey or client intake form. And the questions, it doesn't have to be, now granted, I have a couple of different questionnaires. Some are more drawn out, but they're drawn out for a reason. The basic Betty forms just have a new client coming on. We have the things we need to know about them, and then the little personal questions so we can figure out a treat. Don't have to have a thesis paper for that. Don't be afraid to ask. Just think about, what do I want them to, how do I want them to feel? What type of gifts am I thinking I'm going to get? And ask questions along those lines. Like, When you want to onboard that first call, do you want them to be able to have a nice hot coffee or tea? You can get them a digital card. If you want them to have some kind of treat that you know that they enjoy, you can have that. If it's something else, like they really like, maybe they crochet or something, you can get some like little kit or something. So the questions don't have to be too in-depth. I think I've gotten all the hardcore questions. I think I talked about budget between no more for lower ticket than 25, no less than 25, unless it's, very low ticket. And then no more than 150, I would say, even with your higher ticket thing. And if you're going to do multiple things, like during a retreat, you still don't have to spend that much. So it's not about the cost of the gift. It's about the intention and listening and reading what the clients say that they and how they answer. That's who they are. So we're going to gift them based on things that they desire that would make them happy. And we're not just going to get something. And I think books are really great. If you know that people are readers, that could be a question too, because I'm a reader, but I don't assume all my clients are readers. I like to kind of see, and sometimes I figure that out with conversations, but you can figure that out as well. If books are really great, especially if it's business development you're talking about, or maybe you're a fitness coach and you're leading them toward books about nutrition or building great habits or something. So these are the questions that I commonly get. And I think that's it for me. Does anyone have anything else about this? Because I'm going to talk about premium in the next video. I don't want to start that and talk only 10 minutes about it, because that's a bigger offer and there's a little bit more involved in the questionnaire for that. You're going to go deeper. So I want to have a separate video for that. But if there are any more questions, just let me know. Kay, did I answer your question about how personal to get? Oh, you're welcome, Ty. You're welcome. If that's it, this is the session for me. I really just wanted to talk about client appreciation for the mid-tier price point. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kay. I'm glad it helped. So if you have any more questions, you can add them here in the chat and I'll go back. Or if you have any other questions, you can join me for the premium, because that'll be the next video we talk about setting up your premium offer so that really wows them. Because honestly, people aren't always expecting that in their premium, but they're definitely impressed when they get it. And I have been in a couple of different very high ticket things and they gave us nothing. And I remember that they gave us nothing. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So you don't want that impression. You want to make the best impression possible and get that much more connected and closer to your client. So hope that was helpful. If it was, tune in, like or subscribe for more videos and watching Launch Lab live. Thank you.